only one of the 3 games that I actually have paid attention to my resistances.
Yeah, that too. That
The
is
only
definitely different.
only other time I can think of is in Blighttown and Dark Souls 1. I put the spider shield on to
Yep, that's
help
it.
with the toxic.
That's
That
about
just seemed
it,
like
yeah.
a useless stat. In Dark Souls 1, armor was either poise or fashion.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
That
now
was
I
it.
actually like, okay, I'm going through
Defense was
Shrine of
meaningless.
Amana, so I'm gonna put on all my magic resist gear. Or I'm fighting
Yeah, and the
smoke
spell
demons, so I'm
portrait.
gonna put on my fire gear.
More so the
Yeah.
rings than anything else.
The
It's
only,
like it actually.
the only thing that I really hate, and I'm very disappointed with, was the way that the bosses were done. Just
Eh.
so
Yeah,
many
some
of
of the
them are
bosses, like,
not
there
unique.
are too many that you can
I
just,
guess.
like... There are too many you can just, like,
Strafe.
circle to the right and... You know.
You win.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I tend not to
Yeah.
see like the bad things, so I've never really noticed that. And it's
Yeah.
it's still fun. I like fighting all the bosses.
I do too.
I know, I still like fighting them. They're
It's
just...
just, I've never noticed that because I just don't pay
There's
attention to
nothing
that stuff.
really grabs me like Artorias or Manus. You know, those
I don't know, man.
fights
Dark
that...
Lurker.
Yeah, well, that
Dark
one's
Lurker's
really good.
It's definitely the highlight.
But like the
of it all.
design and the atmosphere of the Manus
I
fight,
don't-
you know,
I
how
don't know,
that...
man.
The
Dark
Gank
Lurker.
Squad, though, that arena
It's a
was,
giant-
like, the best thing.
It's a giant thing with arms flailing around, and there are so many different attacks. You know, there are different move sets. It's not something like Dragon Rider, for example. What does he have? He's like
Halberd.
3 attacks.
Yeah.
The Gank Squad from the DLC,
Like,
though, that was, like, the arena that took place in was incredible.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice. People hate that fight. It wasn't that bad.
I love it. It feels just like it's because of the way the AI was done. It actually felt like fighting a real gang squad.
Yeah, it's like you're actually. It's like, oh, what are these 3 human players doing in my game?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But yeah, I still like the old Dragon Slayer. I know people
like
think
it
he's
too.
predictable and stuff.
Yeah.
Too
The
easy
problem
for
I
me,
have
like,
with him is that his animations seem more stiff than in Dark Souls 1, which doesn't really make sense considering that this one is the one that's supposed to be motion captured.
I mean,
Yeah.
from a lore
The
perspective, you
animations
could
of
say
his
it
just
makes
don't
sense
look right.
because he's, you know, supposedly corrupted by the abyss. But
Well,
yeah,
we
kinda
don't know
weird.
what happened to him.
Yeah, it's
I don't
just-
know.
Everyone says, "Oh, he's corrupted by the abyss." It's
The old
a
Dragon
logical
Slayer?
assumption, I guess. Yeah.
It could be,
There's
it could
something
be
about
someone else, too.
his design.
It might not even be
Yes.
Ornstein.
Well, no,
It
it
could
could just be
also
someone
just
else who
be
was
like
corrupted
he
by the
decided
abyss,
to do Dark Magic.
or yeah, exactly.
If you listen
But yeah,
to
I
his,
think my-
I don't hear many people talk about this, but if you listen to the old Dragon Slayer when he's using Bonsai Drop, which is the butt slam from the first game, he actually like makes a groaning sound. He sounds hollow to me. I haven't heard
Maybe.
many people talk about that. Yeah, listen closely the next time you fight
Yeah.
him.
Like,
If
what
you
if
know him.
Ornstein in the first game was actually an undead, and he
Yeah,
couldn't
so
die?
maybe
That's
he was
also
an
true.
undead and then
then-
like came back, and now he's hollowed. Because
But
reason.
the other theory I've heard is that it's all an illusion created by
Gwendolyn,
it's
yeah,
that they are part of the illusion created
by Gwendolyn.
by what's his name?
Gwendolyn.
Yeah, Gwendolyn. That
Yeah.
it's part of the same
His
illusion.
her name.
Just like Guinevere, that it's all the same thing. That none
The
of
problem with that is you
the
can
place is
kill
real. I mean,
Gwendolyn.
the enemies you fight aren't real there.
Yeah.
The problem
The
is you
giant,
can kill Gwendolyn, I think.
Well, they dissolve into dust,
and-
don't they?
They'll be fine. Well, yeah. And I think that someone said, I haven't checked this myself, but Ornstein and Smo have death animations like the same as human and alive things. One theory is, though, that I've heard of vaguely is like maybe Ornstein actually left with Guinevere when she went to marry Flan. Because he was like her guard, so it would make sense if he went with her,
Yeah.
and then there was an illusion left behind by
And that would be
Gwendolyn.
why he's in the Tower of Flame,
Mhm.
which is where we're suspecting Guinevere is.
Was.
Yeah, and that's one of the
Was,
theories that they
yes.
left Anor Londo and made hides that
Yeah.
area.
Or
Yeah, I think
went
that was
there
their
and
creation.
talked to Flan and was like, hey.
Yeah, my favorite. I think my favorite bosses in Dark Souls 2 in general are just either Mirror Knight or Smelter Demon. I don't think I could pick one.
I hate fights like that. It's fights like this that make me want to use a shield. I just feel like I could actually deal with the quick attacks of something like a short sword with a shield, because there were
Yeah.
cases where I could just block one of the attacks with a shield and then parry the second one with the
Setup
setup.
parrying.
But I can't do that with any other type of weapon.
Yeah,
Oh, but
yeah,
you
like
cannot. You
I was
can
saying before,
backstep parry the legit way, not the weird one where it would start up while you were still in the backstep frames. But if you backstep and then parry,
Yeah.
sometimes you can catch stuff.
I think that one works with the great sword, one-handed R2 combo. You know, the stab and then the twirl thing.
It works with the R1s, I think, too,
That
because
one I think
it
it
works with
works.
big heavy weapons. Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
like I was saying before, I think Dark Souls 2 is the first Souls game I played as an RPG, basically, which is kind of what drew me in so much more than the other two.
Maybe.
A lot more
Mhm.
focusing on the internals, which I actually enjoy in RPGs.
I could see that.
I get that.
I love them all. Yeah, except for Demon Souls. I don't think that one's on the
I don't
same
think
level
I've
as the
played
others.
enough Demons. I haven't even beaten Demon
I
Souls,
haven't
so I'm
played
not
much
actually
of it,
going
so
to
I
say
couldn't
whether
tell
I
you.
like it or not. But it seems fun so far.
I
Definitely a lot different. You can tell it was the first. You can tell
Yeah.
it was different, like differently done.
They did it.
the only
They did not do
I
that the same.
yeah, I can just say that the atmosphere and the overall world and the feel of it is really good in that game.
It's really weird. Like you look at Demon Souls and you look at Dark Souls 1. They seem incredibly different, even though they're technically really similar.
Yeah.
And I think the main reason is Demon Souls is all like dark and not a lot of colors. There's like no bloom. It's like set in like a real looking fantasy like medieval era castle area.
Yeah.
But Dark Souls was just like a fantastic just area you'd never see in real life. It has color. It has everything reflects light. It's just such a weird contrast between the two.
I've heard it
Yeah,
described.
it is definitely different.
And then
I
Dark Souls
think
2
in
is like
that
a little medium between the two. It's just
I think in that regard, I'd actually give the advantage to Demon Souls in the look.
like maybe, but I kind of don't like the lack of bloom on the environment in Demon Souls, and I also don't like the huge amount of bloom when you get near objects. They definitely took until Dark Souls 2 to get the amount of bloom perfect, or near perfect at least.
Well, I
I've
could see
heard
that.
the Dark Souls 1 compared to reading a book in a foreign language, like the lore. You know, one that you kind of know. You know, you kind of get it. You kind of get what's going on, but you never really like. You never know for sure.
And that's what it was
exactly
meant to be by
happened.
Miyazaki, because that's what his childhood was. He
Yeah,
read
exactly.
Western
Really?
fantasy books, and he didn't understand English completely, so he had to fill in some of the details on his own.
Really?
They didn't understand, and yeah, that's what inspired him to make the Souls series
Huh.
like this.
It's really interesting.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting way to look at it, because you do start to realize how big some of the holes in the plot are when you really start scrutinizing.
Which a
it.
lot
Yeah,
of
I know.
people would-
We create all these really amazing, intricate theories, but then when you think about it, you can really say this. It's just as valid to say that those things are just due to sloppy game design.
Yeah,
or-
like a lot of people who don't like the game would probably say, "Oh, well, that's just lazy. Like, why can he? He's not a good writer. He doesn't fill in everything." But like the people who love the game will defend it on that, and it's like such a weird thing.
Dark
like,
Souls
between
lore
the
is
two.
kind of what you make of it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Like you have to.
Interpret it.
Oh, it's just you don't if you don't play it, you wouldn't understand. It's like, oh yeah, it just well, I don't know. They don't explain everything. What's the point? But once you actually start getting into it and trying to figure it out for yourself, it's almost like solving a puzzle in a way, and it's really interesting about that.
One thing I
It's like-
noticed that I never saw this before, but when I went back to Anne Orlando to look for stuff, there's no lion imagery anywhere in Anne Orlando, but right on Guinevere's door, on the door handle, there's a lion holding the door, which makes me suspect, like, is that that you know?
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff. It's probably
little
meaningless,
stuff,
but when you think about it, you can create all these,
It's-
intricate meanings and themes to those kinds of things.
It's kind of like those 30 pictures of humans in the on the way to. It's like the last thing I think anyone ever discovered in Dark Souls, or one of the last. There's like 30 inlays of humans on the walls in the shortcut to Lost Izalith, because you need
Really?
30 humanity to get through the door. Just little things like that.
Yeah, it's in the actual presence of those things that makes it seem like those other theories could actually be valid.
And it like makes it like, oh well, so that's why you should get 30 humanity to get the shortcut, and like nobody knew it, but still it was there. But I made a post about this. I just wonder, in 10 years, when Dark Souls is dead, and nobody cares about it, and people rediscover it, and they like discover the lore for themselves, how much will it differ from what we think today?
I don't know, man.
Like, that's actually, like, I'm really curious about that. Like, how much of it will be the same? How much of it will be just be completely different? Because there's definitely some things that are almost certain, but a lot of it is not, and I wonder
Okay,
what
ow.
that not would be.
Oh, I got wrecked. Sorry. I ruined your moment.
This guy's fun. He has so many different weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great one, though.
Sorry
Probably lose
about
it,
that.
but I want to try. No! Oh, poise now exists. I forgot. Poise actually works now.
Yeah. Before, wasn't it like only when you were actually performing an action? Poise happened?
I don't think anybody really figured out exactly how it worked,
I've always
because
heard
there were just so many
poise-
variables to it.
I've always heard poise just basically didn't work until they fixed it.
I heard it
It's
was
not
like
true. It did have a purpose.
only
It just
applies while
was
you're
too
attacking.
complex to really analyze with any one test, because every test gave a different result. Essentially, you didn't have enough tests to get each variable isolated.
Yeah. Speaking of things like this, when are when are people going to figure out how item find works?
Oh, I have no idea.
How
Because
what?
I really want to know item find.
What do you mean? What is?
Mhm.
Oh
Which
god,
things
Vanquisher
stack,
Seal!
how much they add.
Like, yeah, like what are the values? Like, what is everything in item find? Because like in Dark Souls 1, it was really clear. It actually showed your item find, and you could. I think it like was a linear scale. It was really simple. But
Mhm.
you can't find it out in Dark Souls 2, and I think like the rusted coin adds 1% item find, but that gives
Oh,
you
yeah.
so much, like, it increases it by a lot, but it's just 1%. So I'm really curious how item find works in Dark Souls 2.
I did not deserve that win. Yeah, it's. I don't
Oh,
understand
I'm watching.
either.
Let me guess, blind parry or no, you
No,
don't have a
blinding
parrying weapon
bolt.
actually.
Blinding bolt.
Ow.
Got him.
Did that actually
just,
kill
like,
him?
I was on like 100 health and I
Oh,
ran away and he
wow.
gave me enough
Oh.
distance to
Oh my
cast blinding
God.
bolt. I hit him
I
twice.
think that's like one of the first times I've ever seen blinding bolt kill somebody.
Oh,
Really?
it's amazing now. It's actually ridiculous how
It's
Really?
easy
ridiculous.
it is to
I
actually
feel
hit
bad
people.
using it, but no one's complaining yet.
I rarely see it hit people.
It's like a homing missile now. Instead of
Sometimes
just shooting
it
it
seems
randomly,
like
it
tracks-
actually homes
Hey, look,
towards
it's
the
you.
people.
Hi. Isn't that you?
Hello.
Wait, did you guys get paired with each other?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
we got matched in a race. Well,
I was
mean,
wondering when that
watch.
happened.
Oh, the best part is the screens are
Praise
almost
the
perfectly synced on my
sun.
end.
Oh.
Die.
I don't think we've had a one-on-one yet.
No,
We
we've
had
had
those
like
times that I
pseudo
was gone, but that
one-on-ones
wasn't in the
after
Brotherhood of Blood.
someone else
Yeah.
gets killed.
God.
Too close.
No,
Too close.
no,
What am I
no,
doing?
blinding bolt.
Blinding
No,
bolt.
what?
That's tracking.
I don't know how far away I was.
You
that
were
was.
really far away from that. Do you want to heal or something? That was
How does
mean.
that hit?
I'm gonna stop
Was
casting
blinding
it
bolt not affected by the lightning nerf thing?
now. No, I don't think it was.
Huh. I still want to know when they're like. I'm hoping that gets fixed in the DLC, like when that patch hits.
I hope you know I actually did come prepared. I just am trying to switch weapons and it's not letting me. I came with a shield. That's the counter to
interesting
great
shield.
bows I've heard. Dang it.
Hmm. Yeah, that R2 with the Dragon Slayer spear is pretty good.
Yeah, it comes out at a weird time, so people don't expect it.
Blake saying that you should kick her ass. You can't let him down.
Thanks.
Man. Kick her ass. Do it for Blake.
I'll try.
Why did I throw
We're
it
actually
long
pretty
that
evenly
far?
matched here.
Hey, you guys are like both at half
Oh,
health.
I'm screwed.
At least on my end.
Oh, if I did a jumping attack there, that would have been the end. That's what I was
Yeah, it
trying to
would've
do. That's a really good combo, at least when you can pull it off, is you can get 2 hits, people run or try to roll back directly,
Yeah.
and then they get caught by by the jumping attack.
That's actually another.
Oh, I tried to backstep, I didn't
GG.
make it! Aw. Good job. GG.
That was
That's
a good
another-
fight.
That's another
Yeah, that
reason
was a
I like
good
limiting my frames. Apparently, it's easier to like jump attack and guard break since the timing is less precise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to backstep that, but
I
I
did
was
it
too
for
late.
you, Blake.